Muswell Hill is notoriously one of the most trickiest places to reach in London because of its lack of railways, so a good alternative to the train is getting the bus, which is fitting because they are doing a heritage bus running day based around Muswell Hill today. They tend to do 2 of these every year in November in North London. Last year's events were in Archway and Camden Town. This year it's in Muswell Hill, and I started both of them videos outside the former Alexandra Palace station, of which there was a railway line that ran through Muswell Hill. But it would take a long time to reach that spot today because all of Alexandra Palace is currently closed. It's on the complete opposite side of it because of firework displays over the weekend. Well, I've eventually made it to the site of the old Muswell Hill station after taking the long walk around on the road. One of the bus routes today will actually take this road, the 212, which was later renumbered to W7. The 212 initially operated single-deckers because the railway bridge here was too weak for the heavier double-deck vehicles, and the railway didn't want to strengthen the bridge as they saw the bus route as direct competition to them, as both of them ran from here to Finsbury Park. Nowadays, what has become the W7 is actually London's busiest bus route in terms of density. It's not long enough to be the busiest in terms of passenger numbers, but instead the busiest in terms of how crowded the bus will be. It's a relatively short route, but it provides a very essential connection from Muswell Hill to Crouch End and to Finsbury Park, as well, there's no railway anymore. Let's hope we catch one of the 212/W7s today and that it won't be too busy. I don't know the times of them, so what I have to do is climb to the summit of Muswell Hill to pick up a programme which will have the timetable inside. I might not even get it first, I might catch one of the other routes. Well, I did end up catching a single decker to Finsbury Park. Not that it even mentions 212 or W7 on the front. I have picked up a timetable which includes both today's event and one in Camden in 2 weeks' time. A fact I forgot to mention about the W7 is that it was the first route to trial running cashless. You had to have a ticket before getting on the bus. Of course, London buses nowadays are all cashless, so I guess that trial was a success on the W7. Now there's one that's just pulled up behind, and this one says W7. 20p fares, 5 and 10p coins only. I'm not going to get this bus. I'm going to have a bit of a wander and catch the next one back to Muswell, or Muzzy as I shorten it to. I thought I'd take a walk across Finsbury Park to come and have a look at where that old railway branch towards Muswell Hill and Alexandra Palace would have split off from the main line. So I'll perhaps make a dedicated video walking the disused railway one day, but for now I've only come up as far as the first disused station on the line at Stroud Green. That is the station building down there, and for now I'm just going to walk the still existing railway, which sits down there, back towards Crouch Hill station, where I can get on a W7. It's a little bit of a National Rail symbol up there, not a TfL Overground roundel. So I made it back to Muswell Hill. I've got quite the collection of programs nowadays. I'm glad they've combined this one with the Camden event in 2 weeks' time, so if it's nice weather and I fancy doing it, I can kind of plan my day around it. There's not as many routes as last year, unfortunately, but nonetheless I'm going to stick around and wait for a 210 down to Golders Green and back, as a loud engine, and then we'll get the 43 down, my thumbs in the way, to Islington Angel and back. I've been on them two routes before on old buses, not the W7 though, but I don't mind doing them again. As I was mentioning at Bewley Park Station, during the winter I tend to do a lot of urban London adventures, and because I've done so many years of exploring London, I guess I have somewhat of a limited range of adventures that I can go and do. So doing this every year, spending a couple of days on old buses in North London, is a nice way to spend some of that time. Enjoy the 210 route. Strange that it's going to Muswell Hill today, but I guess they just want to bring all the buses to one area because it usually heads to Finsbury Park like the W7. From its single decker today, I can assume that this would have been the allocation. Nowadays, of course, it also uses double deckers like W7. And now to head back on the full journey to Muswell Hill. Or I could get off at Archway and get a 43. We'll see. Well, it didn't give you much time to take a toilet break in Golders Green bus station because the return 210 left about 6 minutes early, so I'm just going to go for a walk instead, which to be honest I did think about doing today anyway. Now, one of the bus running day events that I've been to before was based around Golders Green, but it was quite a rainy day. I thought if it was much nicer, like it is today, that I would take a walk up to come and see Golders Green Crematorium. So if the bus just left without me, why not take the opportunity to do it now? Passing the crematorium takes me out onto the Hampstead Heath extension. That eventually brings you out by the Spaniards Inn, where there is a former toll gate. The 210 has to squeeze through this one-way street. And then on to Hampstead Heath proper by Kenwood House, which currently has a Halloween light trail, obviously not lit up right now. It is the last day of it today. Secretly glad that I missed the bus now, just so I can take a sunny autumnal walk across Hampstead Heath. I like coming up to this part of Hampstead Heath because it's not just at Parliament Hill where you get a viewpoint of London. So I've walked all the way through to Highgate, where instead of waiting a long time for the 210, I can catch the 43 from here to Angel and back, hopefully. And I'll try not to miss the return service this time. I'm standing in Highgate Station's exit only, where there's just an escalator that comes up here, where you can spot out of the window the former Highgate high level station, which would have sat on the former railway between Finsbury Park, Muswell Hill and Alexandra Palace. Well, that's old. It's a couple of years ago now. There's quite a few bus changes around here. Even in that time, N271, which was a new route they introduced, has since been renumbered the N263. Made it to Angel on board a green route master, so it's time for my final journey today, all the way back to Muswell Hill now. At least I've been on all 3 of the services today. And I'm back where I started, at Muswell Hill Broadway. It's getting dark now, but look, Alexandra Palace is open. I can walk across the grounds, something I didn't get to do this morning. That was an enjoyable day out on the buses in North London. One more to add to the playlist, and I'm sure there'll be several more days out like this in the future. So thank you for coming along with me, and I'll leave you with a closing shot of London from on top of Ali Pali. So I have decided to come out for the Camden day, and look, I can actually start at the former Alexandra Palace station this time. I know from the timetable that I picked up 2 weeks ago that I can head to Muswell Hill to catch one of the buses today, the 134 to Camden. They've organised old buses in Camden for at least the last 3 years, and I have caught this service before. So they are also operating the 31 today. They've done that before on one of the other events, but I didn't catch it in favour of instead getting a 68 to Waterloo and later a 74 to Baker Street, where I then crossed Regent's Park and Primrose Hill to walk back to Camden. You can also see that this is the first time that they have done the 253, so at least I get 2 new services today. So let's head up along the former railway and catch the first bus of the day from Muswell Hill. So I've made it to Camden Town. We'll get the 31 later. What I'm thinking I'll do is go and catch a 253, which is starting just beyond Camden Town at Mornington Crescent. Let's see if I have enough time to walk down to the starting point. I thought this was a 253 coming and I didn't have enough time, but no, it's just my 134 turning around. Didn't think there were any buses left that still said Abellio. I'm standing opposite the amazing Mornington Crescent station. There's this incredible building opposite too, where there is a line of rail replacements standing outside. I think it's for the Mildmay line. I think that's closed beyond Camden today. No 253s as of yet. Yeah, the bus just hasn't showed up. So I've decided I'm just gonna walk up to Camden Town, see if it passes me along the way. I'm thinking I probably should have just caught that 31, but I didn't want to do that because it was only going to Swiss Cottage. All the other services are going beyond to Kilburn Park, so I might as well get them for a longer journey. I don't necessarily want to wait around for the next 253 because that one's only going to Finsbury Park, whereas all the other services are going beyond to Stamford Hill. I'm just going to do what I was going to do later this afternoon, and that is check out the newly pedestrianised High Street. I used to hate coming to Camden as a kid, as the walk between the station and the market was just ridiculously busy. This makes it more pleasant to walk down, and I wonder if Oxford Street will ever get this same treatment. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still really busy, but imagine all these people crammed onto the much more narrow pavements. Obligatory shot of the Regent's Canal, where, contrary to popular belief, that is not Camden Lock. Camden Lock doesn't even exist. I have enough time to quickly show you some of my favourite spots of Camden Market, including the Interchange building here. Gives me a vibe of walking into an old prison. This is one of my favourite discoveries of Camden. Umbrella Alley. It just goes on and on, I love it. This is probably my favourite shop in Camden though. Cyberdog. It's just mental as soon as you walk in. Wait a minute. I have that t-shirt. I don't even know if you can hear me because it's like a rave in here, but I've been stopped in both Grimsby town and on the platform at Spondon station before because someone has recognised that I'm wearing something from Cyberdog. Camden's culture goes beyond London, but I've never actually been recognised in London. It's so much quieter when you leave Cyberdog. I've left the market on the Chalk Farm end, which brings you past the iconic Roundhouse venue. There's a great plaque on the building to denote that it's an old railway engine shed and there was once a turntable in there. What I can actually do is catch a 31 from this stop to Kilburn Park and back. It should have just left Camden town. Well, I don't want that one, but I do see the one I want to catch. That bus was quite busy throughout, I didn't really get any footage. 31 is a relatively unique route, crossing over the Finchley Road and the Abbey Road without really taking the main thoroughfares. It has brought me to what is probably, maybe, my favourite station on the London Underground, Kilburn Park. It just has a fantastic building. And I guess I'll just wait for the return service back towards Camden. I'm really glad I didn't catch a single decker. That would have been even more busy than the double decker. Well, that's not the bus we're gonna get, but I think now it's time to finally do the 253. Taking a quick toilet break. I don't know if I have enough time to head down to Mornington Crescent. I might miss the bus. Should I risk it or should I just get on here? Well, I'm back here again and I've found the bus, 253. It's just not leaving. It should have done about 10 minutes ago. I don't know if it's just the curse of the first day operations or not. I was supposed to get number 2 this morning, which didn't run at 11:34. I'm now waiting for the 1 at 1:30, which is the one over there. I've matched it up with the fleet number. I wondered whether they were just waiting to leave late so they didn't have the stand around time at Stamford Hill and they can come straight back. But they've still just not left. So I was wondering if they were going to do number 4, which says they was only going to run if a bus became available. It's not labelled here, for example. If so, let me just check the time. Oh, that should be leaving in about 3 minutes now. If not, oh, the one behind's only doing Finsbury Park again. I want to do Stamford Hill. I think that's going to end up being the Finsbury Park one, which is funnily branded the 73 right now. Well, I guess we're just going to Finsbury Park and back. It's better than nothing. I have a strange fondness for this maquette, even though it's not as classic as the regular Route Master one. You know, the one I have on my sock, for example. Yeah, I don't know why the other one didn't leave. There must have been something wrong with it. At least we get to do the 253 though. Finally. Whoa. The Holloway prison redevelopment has come along a lot. The reason why I was quite fascinated about catching a 253 to Stamford Hill is that I've done this section before on a 29. So at least a bit to Stamford Hill would have been a new stretch of old Route Master journey for me. I could hang around for one to Stamford Hill, but in case there isn't, it's probably best just to get this straight back to Camden. I've bailed at Camden town on the return. There's no point really me going all the way back to Mornington Crescent. So I'm going to spend some time wandering around the market again. I could have genuinely done that all afternoon and had a great day. Look at the queue for the tube station, by the way. Madness. But essentially, I'm hanging around for the next 134 just so I can kind of go full circle and end back at Muswell Hill. I've made it back pretty much just as a bus is coming. This is an archway, though I think the Muswell Hill is down there. But there you go, the Muswell Hill was immediately behind. Perfect. We're overtaking the archway one? I do think the seat at the back on these old buses is my preferred location. Well, this seems familiar. Ending my day, yet again, at Muswell Hill Broadway. Well, this does feel familiar, doesn't it? If you really want to make it a real full circle moment, it's best to end here again. So Anyone fancy a closing shot of London from on top of Value Pally? Oh my lord.